So we're talking. Hi, Lena. Hi, how you doing, baby? All right. We're back talking about Fred Seaman a little bit because you sent him a message yesterday. Yes, and it was a message he will understand. Right. I did not quite understand it, but and it's nobody's business. But just mentioning that because John is saying there was one section in Fred Seaman's book. He writes about his intimate friendship, or what he perceived was his intimate friendship with John, and him and John going around. Let me get a comfortable stand here. All right. And in one scene in the book, I think you guys are in an airport, or you're on your way to somewhere, and you stopped at a bar. We're picking Mother up from the airport. Oh, right. Okay. Picking up Yoko from the airport. I don't know if you guys were somewhere, one of your island getaways that you were doing at the end there, and you were with Seaman, and his name is funny. It doesn't it just remind you of like Seaman? Yeah, I don't think of when I say Fred Seaman, I think of just like ejaculation. Well, it's spelled like a man going out to sea, but it just Fred Seaman. It just seems like he's just shot his load and there's nothing left. Yeah, well, that basically happened back in the 80s. But yeah, go ahead, because you never questioned me about this either, and I was like, I don't understand this, Lena girl. All right, because it's true, right? Yeah. In the book, Fred and John are at a bar having a couple of beers, and John starts telling Fred that one of his most popular fantasies, John's most popular fantasies, is torturing, dismembering, and killing women. Right. That's what he said. That's what he said to Fred Seaman. I have these very, very graphic fantasies, and they really turn me on of killing women in these gruesome, gruesome ways. You're laughing. I'd like you to picture this, if you will. Yes. When you were first reading that book with me over your shoulder, right? Reading it? Yeah. And you got to that part? Yeah. You didn't even like reread it or anything. You just passed right over it, like, okay, right. You know why? Why? Because I think you were lying. I just think that was you saying crazy shit to somebody. Right. You know me so well. Right. It's like John says things for shock value to people to freak them out, or to see if they're going to be like, I don't really like hanging out with this guy now if this is the stuff he thinks about doing and he's just telling me this. But Fred Seaman was such a fucking hooer for John Lennon's company that he just acted like this was fine, that this was just fine. Like, really? Wow. That's cool. And then he goes and puts it in his book, right? About one of his private conversations with John, which it was one of his private conversations with John. Fred Seaman spilled a lot of stupid private details that were nobody's business about the Lennon family while he was their stupid little lackey for a couple of years there. John always screaming at him, by the way. That's another thing that's really funny, calling him an idiot. But because he was an idiot, he didn't know the first thing about how to be a fucking rock and roll assistant. But I don't want to get like that. Let's get back to the John killing and murdering women. So sure enough, Fred Seaman puts this in his book, but this is the funny part too. Nobody says anything. All the years dissecting Fred Seaman's book, So many people have made this their Bible, their go-to about what it was like to be on the inside of John Lennon's inner life with his in behind closed doors at the Dakota with just his family and Fred Seaman. And nobody ever took a second look at that conversation, which was about a page and or so worth of dialogue, as Fred Seaman remembered it, of John describing how he would like to dismember women and kill them. Nobody talks about that. And you didn't either. Yeah, but for different reasons. Because everything that people, I didn't look at it twice because in my mind, I was just like, that is just John talking shit. And you know what? Even if John had fantasies like that, I mean, I take it with a grain. I know he's a gentle, loving person that it would never hurt me or any woman really. Not really like that. He's not a murderer. So whatever this is, it's so stupid I can't even dignify it really. This is just another stupid thing in Fred Seaman's book. But none of the book critics or anything said anything about that. And here they grasp everything else that Fred Seaman has to say. They grasp onto every other little detail of John's life, right down to the last time he picked his nose and ate it. He just always says that. He didn't really do that in the book, but I really like your style. Yeah, what do you like about it? You're very to the point, and this is very true. And I always wondered about that myself. I was like, look at this. I guess I can really do and say no wrong. I mean, when people want to dissect my life and constantly pummel me, metaphorically, or however you want, for being a lousy so and so to Cynthia and Jules, and being a crappy husband and being selfish and not nice to Paul and all these other things and always having all these bad personality flaws. But nobody said anything about my fantasy about killing and dismembering women, right? Which actually could be that. I mean, all right, if you were mad at your mother for abandoning you, but still, that yeah, it's very severe to say that one fantasizes about doing that. That's very severe and it's uncalled for. But I was just seeing what I could get away with this guy and say, and he would still idolize me, and he just did. He simply did. Right. Now, whether he realizes it or not, I'm constantly in 5D communication with him and trying to warn him off of certain behaviors with regard to me. He's kind of toned it down. But that little message I sent him yesterday was just me nudging him, letting him know, I'm watching you. That didn't stop. That's more than ever now. I'm watching you. Right. Private eyes, they're watching you. They see your every move. So what do you want to do tonight? I really wanted to talk about that. That was good. There's a couple of things that I would like to do with you and to you and for you. Oh, for me. You want to do them for me? I do. I don't want you to do anything for yourself. Come on, I want to do things for myself. With you. Oh. I really enjoyed playing flute with you earlier. That's a lot of fun. Will you play my flute too? You don't have to get all crazy and weird now with this sexually stuff. Sexually stuff.